Hey, all my YouTube friends out there. I'm looking for some help. I've got a 2014 Dodge Journey here with a 3.6 Pentastar motor in it. I just got done putting it all back together again. I had this motor tore down for a while here. And let me show you what happened is I had the common tick to the motor. You know, these are very well known for that tick that they have, and it always ends up being a roller rocker. So after tearing the motor completely down on the top end, I should say, I found a bad roller. As you can see, these are pretty common for these rollers. That pin gets bad in there, and this was bad. And here's the cam. It completely ate that cam out. So it was ticking for a while. And, you know, I was stupid and continued to drive it because it wasn't ticking all the time. Well, then all of a sudden it stopped ticking, and then I had a really bad miss. So what it was the back cylinder, which would be bank 1, and it was the first cam, which was the intake cam. So I replaced that cam. I replaced that roller rocker, put a brand new cam in it and a new roller rocker. I checked all of the lifters. The lifters were perfectly fine according to specs. I watched a couple different videos on some guys that showed, because I've never done this before, some guys that show you how to do it. Over on the bench there, you can't see it, but I bought that special tool that you're supposed to use for your timing chain here, that you put down in there to, you know, release the tension or whatever, so that you can unbolt your oil things on the end, so you can unbolt those so that you can actually take the cam out of it. I made sure that I put the cam in the right position. I marked everything. I never took it out of time. Bolted everything all back together again. I replaced all of the coils, all of the spark plugs, all the intake gaskets. I even had to replace this oil filler thing with the oil cooler that goes down underneath there, because that was my original problem, was I had a bad oil leak. Replace the oil pressure sensor and the temperature sensor that's attached to the oil thing. I'm trying to think of what else I replaced, and then basically put everything all back together again. I'm going to show you what it's doing here. Now it's doing something really weird. Let me get in the cab here and show you real quick. Okay, so now we're back inside. So what happens is I start it. So now it's idling fine. It starts out idling really funny, but now it's idling fine. Doesn't have any misses, feels real good. Motor runs nice and smooth, it revs up real good, but I do have a check engine light now. So I will come out here and let's see if it does it. Usually after about 30 seconds to a minute, it's all of a sudden going to start running rough and sounding really weird. So as you can see, it's running smooth, it's running like it should, and I was able to rev the motor up, bring the RPMs up, and it runs really good. It sounds good, there's no knocks, there's no ticks. There it goes. You hear that? It's like a rattle. And I can't quite determine where it's coming from, but it'll do that. Still running though. There's no knocks or loud ticks. It just sounds really weird, like it's missing on a couple of cylinders or something. So I come back in here and it just sounds noisy. Runs like crap. Let me shut it off. Let's give it a minute. Okay, now let's start it back up again. There it goes, running smooth again, idling nice. Revs up, sounds good. Sounds like it should. idling at, you know, about 900 RPMs. Good idle. Now let's give it a minute. Now it's dropping down the idle. Okay, and all of a sudden it starts doing that, and then it does it again. And now it's like got no power. And as you see, I have a check engine light. I did just put my check engine light on it, or I'm sorry, my code reader. And I have one of those Bluetooth code readers, so I can't really show it to you because I had to do it on my phone. But it showed me 3 codes, and one was a crankshaft position sensor coloration, bank 1A or something like that, and then camshaft position sensor slow reaction or something like that. It was a camshaft and a crankshaft position, and then it also said random misfire. So if anybody out there has ever had this problem, if they can help me and tell me what I'm doing wrong, does the computer need to be reflashed? I double checked and made sure, you know, both sensors were, I believe that one of these is a crank or cam. I believe those cam sensors, those are both plugged in properly. These should be your crankshaft sensors. Those are all plugged in right. Those are all in the right spot. I don't know that you can actually screw them up and put them in the wrong spot. They're in there properly. I did take both of this sensor and that sensor off.
Need some help?
Now, as I was saying before I was interrupted by someone, I did replace the seals in these, and I did take them out. And is it a possibility that I put them in the wrong spot? I don't know if that would matter. Are the sensors sensitive to which side they go on? I don't know. It's just weird to me that why is it running and idling super nice for about 30 seconds, and then all of a sudden, boom, it just starts running like shit. Anybody out there has ever had this problem, or any Dodge, Chrysler? I'm not going to take it to a Dodge dealer because that's going to be thousands of dollars to figure it out. Do I need to reflash the computer? Did I get bad coils off the internet? It was a set of brand new coils, and I think I paid less than $100. Is it possible that I just got some cheap bad coils because I didn't spend the money and buy the good ones? I plugged them in all right. You really can't screw that up. Basically, everything on this motor is pretty much plug and play. You really can't screw anything up and plug it in wrong. So that's not a problem. So if anybody out there's ever had this problem, 2014 Dodge Journey, 3.6 Pentastar. They put this motor in a lot of different vehicles. Somebody please help me, because it's weird to me that it's running really good for about 30 seconds to a minute, and then all of a sudden it starts running rough and sounding like crap. And then I can shut it off, restart it again. It'll sit there and run and idle for about 30 seconds to a minute, and then all of a sudden start running rough again. Somebody out there, please comment below, subscribe to my channel. I haven't made a lot of videos in a long time, but I'd like to start again. Please subscribe. Let me know if anybody's got any ideas, please, because I'm really, before I start having to tear this thing back apart again, I really don't know what I'm even looking for, to be honest with you. I've never worked on one of these, so help a buddy out here. Thank you, guys.